Hello again, mentors. Nice to see you. Why do I always say that? I can't see you. I look forward to the day when we can all be together, seeing each other and just seeing different things. This is Jack the lad from the foundation. So ahead of your final mentoring session with the young people, your young students, who I hope you've had a nice relationship with, and I hope you've gotten to know well, and that they've opened up to you and taken on board the advice that you've undoubtedly been given them. I thought it would be nice to and we're going to summarise at the end of this little set of videos, but I thought we couldn't really sort of come to the end of the programme without discussing something huge, really, and the fact that there is one thing that really all of us, that's me, that's you, that's your students, that's our families, and everybody we know is looking for, and that is the big H word, which is obviously happiness. I think everything that we teach these young people about leads towards them having a chance of finding that, and how that sometimes goes hand in hand, or a lot of the time goes hand in hand with the job that they do. But I think a question that we often think about as adults and as students, and a question that we'd love to know the answer to, is where do we find happiness? And I'm always really honest when I talk to the students about that, and I'm not a psychologist, you know what I mean? I'm not like a wizard. I don't know. That's the answer to that. Essentially, someone says to me, you know what I mean, how can I be happy? Where can I find happiness? Well, I don't know. It's an impossible question to answer. But from research that I've done, and just from living a life as a geezer, as a bloke, there's one thing that I do know, there's two things that I do know, two places where I know you can't find happiness. One of them is in the past. And I say this to the young people, you know, the past is only the past. You'll always have the memories, but you do eventually have to let go, no matter how hard you want to hang on. Now, when you're talking about happiness, you can't find it in the past, because the past is gone. And memories are great. Memories are brilliant, brilliant things to have. You know what I mean? It's a long time ago. I remember being 21. You know what I mean? It was mint. I loved it. But I'm not 21 no more. I'm 46. And one of the things that I talk to the young students about is the fact that there are good times that you have in your life. You think, oh, is life really going to get much better than this? It's amazing. But then there's another day. And then there's a day after that. And then there's a day after that. Always have memories. Always have memories. But sometimes you've got to let them go to move forward, because otherwise it's like walking forward with your back facing the front. You're never going to see what's ahead of you because you're just living in the past. Now, I can't tell these young people how to find happiness, but what I can tell them, and I'm sure you agree, is that you won't find it in the past, because the past is exactly that. The past is the past. We've all got wonderful memories, but don't go looking that way when you're looking for happiness, because you can't find it there. What's gone is gone, and we have to move on. Where's the other place that you can't find happiness? You can't find happiness in the future. This is impossible, because you don't know what the future holds. The same as that you can't get back to the past, you can't go forward to the future unless you own one of these, which not many of us do. I've never met anybody who owns a TARDIS. You know, I did meet a bloke once who owned like a DeLorean from Back to the Future. It was a fake one, obviously, with the flex capacitor and that, but it didn't. You get to 88 and you don't go anywhere. It was a fake one. And the point I'm making is, the future is very similar to the past when you're looking for happiness. You can't find it in the past because it's gone, and you can't find it in the future because you don't know what it holds. No one knows what the future holds. And I talk to the students and I say to them, you can look forward to things, of course you can, but you can't bet your happiness on something that you don't even know is going to happen. It's silly. And in a second, I'll tell you something that it kind of makes it all really glued together. You can't go forward in time, you know. I would love to say that Spurs are going to win the Champions League next year, or the European Super League, whichever one it might be, and that's going to make me happy, but I don't know, because I don't know if that's going to happen. So therefore, you can't rely on the past to make you happy, and you can't rely on the future to make you happy. So where do you rely on? Where do you find happiness? And the answer to that is in the here and the now, because it's the only part of our lives that we have control over. We don't have control over the past. We don't have control over the future. It is up to us to look for things that make us happy, make us feel good today. And I think a lot of young people, not so much with the past, but they look to the future thinking happiness is there, and they're letting everything in their lives that could make them feel wonderful pass them by, because they're just blinkered on what is coming up. No, I didn't enjoy school. And I tell the students this, I didn't enjoy school, but when I look back on it now, not like an old fart saying, and when I look back on it now, not like an old man saying, they were the best days of my life, you know what I mean? Because I know that they're not. But I don't think I quite appreciated the joy of being at school. You know, the joy of being with your mates every day, the joy of having a kick about, the joy of chasing the girl you fancied around the playground, you know what I mean? And to ask her out on a date and stuff like that. And I'm really big now and thinking, like, how can I make something good today? We only control the here and the now, and that is where we can find our happiness. And for your second little chat you have with your students, I'd like you to ask them how it made them feel when I spoke to them about that. And I'd like you to ask them if they got a grasp of what I was saying about the fact that enjoy a memory always, and enjoy looking forward always, but don't rely on either to make you happy. And if they got a grasp of what I was saying about you're in control of the here and the now, and this is where you need to be, or this is where you need to focus if you want to be happy. And please, as well, open up about yourselves, because we all do it. I daydream, of course I do, about times when my belly weren't this big, you know what I mean, and my eyes weren't this baggy and stuff like that. And I'm taking my wife away next summer, and I'm looking forward to that already. But that's not going to make me happy today. That's going to make me happy then. Are you guilty of that? You know, and have that chat with them and ask them as well if they are guilty of that. If they spend too much time daydreaming, and if they really believe that they do focus on the here and the now and what is going on in the world now, and whether that is making them happy. And if there's stuff in their life that isn't making them happy today, what can they do about it to eliminate it and stop it getting in the way of their happiness? Again, this will all be in the booklet, so please don't panic. You haven't got to remember this. We'll send it to you. So do have a think about that before your next virtual session with your student, because obviously you have to do it remotely, you have to do it online because of COVID, you know, up yours COVID and all that sort of stuff. You know, happiness. Do you ever spend too much time daydreaming? Do you ever spend too much time fantasizing about what might happen in the future? Or are you pretty good at focusing on the here and now and thinking this is where I need to be if I'm going to be happy? And after that, in this set of videos that we've sent you, we're going to be going through a few misconceptions that I spoke to the students about when it comes to things that can actually bring you happiness.